Hello everybody, this is Tazitis, and I hope you guys are liking this video because it's infectious. This is Hotel Creepypasta FanFiction, a book that I wrote myself. I don't know if I clarified that in the last one, but I wrote this myself, and we are in chapter 2. What's that noise? I probably will take that chapter title and probably put it in the next one as well, because that way I can extend the chapter titles. Anyway, let's get into it. Ginny now stood in the main lobby of the mansion and looked around, removing her old rain jacket overcoat and rolled it up and held it in her arms for a moment, looking at all the dust and the pure mess the mansion was. Every single movement made a noise that echoed throughout the empty space. Everywhere Ginny looked was caked in a thick gray dust that looked untouched by anybody for a long time, with random pieces of wooden boards and broken furniture, shapes underneath dust-covered sheets. The electricity had not been turned on yet either, and was going to be that way until Monday. That was another thing Jenny had to look forward to. Walking over to the coat rack by the door, Jenny's movements echoed throughout the whole place, showing just how alone she was. "Well," she said, talking to herself, her voice ringing and echoing even more than her steps did. "There's no point in waiting around now." Jenny then sucked in her breath and straightened up. Sorry guys. Not professional. Let's get into it. Sorry. Started towards one side of the winding staircase with the winding banister that she could see lead to the other side of the mansion, and started heading upstairs. She made her way slowly up them, so she took her time to study the room itself. The front door, which she had just come in with the help of a spare key that her sister had specially made for her, was at the very top of the place and opened up into a very large lobby area, and then led into an even larger room where there were two winding staircases going up the stairs. To either side of the room was two other rooms that led into other parts of the mansion that left the side of the entrance that goes into the kitchen. The right entrance going into a small group of rooms that were all connected. There seemed to be living rooms of hangout areas, maybe smoking rooms, or lady wings for older guests. Coming into the large room with the staircase, there was another separate entrance on either side of the room that led into two different more wings of the rooms. Two different more wings of rooms. But Jenny couldn't see into them very well from up where she was. The ceiling was very high as well, and with some modern chandelier that looked like a pretty upside-down jellyfish dome shape with patterns on it covered in spiderwebs. She made it to the staircase and stood in the middle of the top of the staircase, looking over the space. She had so much to do, but at least she would have something to keep her mind off her other problems, and she had never backed down from really hard work. Jenny turned and started walking away from the banister further into the second floor of the house, looking for her bedroom. Her sister had told her that one of the master bedrooms on the second floor would be clean enough and safe enough that she could sleep there when she wasn't cleaning. She went down the hall where there appeared to be doors on the left side. She opened about 3 doors and looked into them, trying to see if she could find the bedroom that her sister was talking about. The fourth door opened and she found the room. The room was slightly smaller than the master rooms that she had, but just a little bit. The room was off-white and had a big bed with poofy comforter on it. There was pastel pink, yellow, and blue girly flowers on it. The rest of the room was more cleaner, but there was some random junk and empty boxes everywhere. There was a tall dresser on the left side of the room up against the wall with a small TV on there, and there was a vanity on the other side of the room. To finish it off, the overhead light was on, and was a fishbowl shape with swirly patterns carved into the glass. There were two windows, and then there were two windows on the back wall where the bed was pushed up against, and small windows with white flowing see-through curtains blowing through the breeze, and there was a big lavender Bath and Body Works candle on one of the wax seals. Hang on. Patterns carved into the glass, and there were 2 windows on the back wall of that bed pushed up against it. Small windows with white flowing see-through curtains blowing through the breeze. There was a big lavender Bath and Body Works candle on one of the windows. Pressed. Jenny's heart was in her throat at that. "Mira," she said under her breath, sounding slightly annoyed but slightly choked up. She could see that her sister had either come and tried to clean it up before her sister had come, and had not had enough time to finish up it with her busy life, or she had tried to hire someone to clean up a room for her before she had come, but they had either not done their job, or she had told them not to clean it all up. That way she was not intruding on Jenny's personal need for space. It was things like this that Jenny couldn't fully hate her sister. Her sister and her had a complicated past, and she couldn't not feel angry and a little hateful towards her. Sometimes it was just easier to hate someone when you'd been through some stuff. Jenny loved her sister, no matter what they'd gone through. Her sister, Mira, was trying her best, and it was impossible to hate her for that. Jenny looked around. There was dusting that still needed to be done, though not as thick as the rest of the house. When Jenny looked under the bed, yep, dirty, dusty mess. She knew this was one of the rooms she was going to have to clean first. But maybe she'd do it at night when she couldn't sleep. Since this room was the only one with working light, Mira had told her it was connected to a battery or something and wasn't part of the house itself and would work fine on its own. All right on its own. That and the gas oven and the water would be all she would have for a while, until they could get their electricity back on. Mira had been trying, but even as rich and superstar as her sister was, the electricity company said it would be still at least 5-6 days tops. Mira had not been okay with this, and with her there with the little to no electricity all by herself. Mira had wanted to come visit and wanted to help, but her managers weren't going to let her do much of that with her tour and her new book coming out. Mira had argued and said that she wanted to help her sister get settled in, but Jenny had told her it was fine and she wanted to be alone. Jenny looked over the window and looked down at the ground below. The window faced the side of the house in the backyard of the mansion. Jenny looked down and saw a mess of a big yard and side yards. There seemed to be so many different small gardens sprinkled all over the place. There seemed to be cobblestone paths and dirt paths going in different directions. There was overgrown bushes and dead grass pubes everywhere, and there were broken tree branches and debris sprinkled everywhere too. Jenny looked to the ground, decided that since she really liked gardening and loved the idea of being outside rather than being inside without any light, she decided that she would just get started on the gardens in the back area first. Nobody was going to complain about her not doing the inside first, because she was there all by herself anyway. She could clean in any way that she felt like, and right now, even with this heat, outside work just seemed more able than abled than inside right now, indoors right now. Running back to the front room, she went for her bags and brought everything she had upstairs and threw them on the bed. And then digging through it, she got what she thought she needed, and then went back downstairs, looking around the kitchen for the list that her sister had left her that told her where everything was. After reading the list on the counter, she got her gloves from one of the drawers and then headed outside. She then went to the side gate. She went through the side gate leading into the backyard, and she went to the garden shed and opened it carefully. She saw that there was a push mower that she could use, and there were some hedge clippers, and took them out and put them off to the side. She looked to the area nearby the side of the opening of the gate, and after putting on her gloves, she got to work, picking up branches and started piling them. She started putting them in a pile off to the side. She would take care of that later, but for now, one area at a time. When she'd spent hours picking up branches and debris, moved it into a pile, she went inside and got a bottle of water from the fridge, grateful that her sister had stocked the fridge and kitchen with food, water, and the fridge had been plugged into a generator. After taking a long drink, she then got the push mower and started pushing it back and forth, started cutting the dead grass, one small section at a time. The thing was that she was so engrossed into yard work that she didn't even notice she was being watched. In the window up the stairs there was a couple of figures watching her as she struggled to work. POV. point of view. This girl was new, but she was hard-working, I'd give her that. But I certainly hope she didn't intend to change too much about the mansion. I doubt the others would be able to hold themselves back from going after her if she tries to modernize this place. If she is not respectful enough, that they might just take care of her without a thought. What are we going... Well... sorry. What are we going to... Sorry, this is pretty bad. What are we going to do about that? Jeff said next to me, holding his knife tightly. I could tell he was mad, but he was waiting for the order. I crossed my arms over myself as I continued to look at the girl. Nothing. For right now, nothing. Nothing! Jeff hissed angrily towards me. How could you say nothing? If she continues and decides to move in here, what's going to happen to the rest of us? Still not looking at him, I replied. We don't know anything as of yet, so we can't make that judgment. As for what we will do, we will wait, stay hidden until we know more. When the time is right, we will reveal ourselves. I turned away from the window to look at Jeff straight, as well as the others two that were behind him. But not before then, I told him firmly. Whatever. Jeff said, not happy at all. We'll stay hidden until we know more. We can't justify killing her, or if she's willing, then we may talk to her and see if another living arrangement might be made. One where she lets us stay, but we won't know until it is time. The others seemed to be pretty worried, but nodded, except Jeff. But that was to be expected. Off with the attic, with all of you. Off to the attic with you all, I told them. They all went, even Jeff, but he was slower. Before he left, he said to me, I hope you and Jack know what you're doing, puppy, he said loving. I went back to watching the girl. Couldn't help but feel guilty for her. She was a complete innocent and didn't know anything. But what was done was done. She was in what was becoming their unofficial home. She was in what had become their unofficial home, and they hadn't been able to keep it. From all the living. So now they were left with the consequence of that. So do I, I said quietly to myself, my golden eyes reflected in the window, reflection staring back at me. Sorry this took so long. Anyway, that was chapter 2. I hope you guys are liking it. And if you guys didn't get that, that was Puppeteer. The guy talking was Puppeteer. Also, I'm sorry you guys about not being able to do the voices correctly and everything else and not being able to get the voice thing. I'm not a professional voice actor. I'm just trying to do the best I can. The voices will probably get better as the days go on. As the time goes on. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like it and everything, please subscribe. And if you guys want to check it out, go ahead and go on Wattpad.com and you can read it for yourself. By the way, this is my story. I don't know if I made that clear or not, but this one and Crystal the Rough are not just random stories. They're my stories that I wrote and published on here, and I'm still continuing to publish and stuff because I like it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. Have a beautiful day, and I hope you guys are liking this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much.